given what happened in last year's game, the way it went down, and you know kind of what Oklahoma was thinking going into a game like this against you guys, how important is it right off the bat to kind of establish physicality and kind of knock off what they're trying to bring on that?
Definitely very important to do as soon as the game starts because of that, and as well it's a rivalry game, so a lot of emotions are flying, a lot of late hits possibly, or like a little extra after the play, and we just gotta worry about us and focus on us, and we'll be all right.
Did you get a little jacked when you saw Kelvin in his first game doing what he did last year?
Yeah, definitely. Felt the emotion, saw it, the passion, and that definitely set the tone for the rest of the line, for the rest of the game. So
we've talked about the maturity of this group, but is there any part of you going into this game, someone that's been in it for a while, that just kind of wants to be a kid for a moment and soak everything in that is surrounding it?
Most definitely. It's a great atmosphere, great environment, unique, one of a kind, and the last time I'll be part of this game, so I'll definitely take it in, take the sights and the scenes and the smells and all that. We win, hopefully. Get a turkey leg, funnel cake, and get back on the bus. So,
Christian, I had a chance to ask.
If Quinn Ewers takes off running, like it's a third down and he scrambles, gets first down, what does that do for the lineman? Like, does it get y'all pumped? What does that do?
Yeah, most definitely. Quarterback being dual threat and finding a way, finding an option, whether it be through his receivers or on his legs. That's a great thing, and to get you hyped. You're trying to catch up, trying to make a play downfield for him. So yes, sir.
Do you get the sense that the bigger the stage, the better he plays? Quinn?
No, sir. I think that he's consistent every day, and I think that that consistency leads to his success.
Christian, I asked Coach Sarkisian earlier about Malik Ogbah. Could you just talk what you seen from him? Steve said that he's pretty athletic young guys coming up. Just talk about what you seen from him a little bit.
Oh yeah, Malik, man, that's my guy. He's a extremely hard worker. Funny, but football-wise, he comes to work every day and he learns and he tries to correct his mistakes, and that's all you could ask for from a young player, being coachable, and he brings that every single day, and he's passionate about what he does.
How do you learn to balance emotions? You go back 2 years ago, giving up that big lead, losing it last year, winning so big, going into this matchup. How have you learned and grown into the balancing that emotion of this game?
That's a good question. I'd say play with emotion, but don't be emotional. Do your job and do it to the best of your ability with fanatical effort and emotion, but don't let the emotion take over you and cause you to be off kilter. I would say just be off a little bit and just that.
And you mentioned the turkey leg, you mentioned the funnel cake. Are you going into any other state fair food groups? Or do you stick to those two specifically?
Yeah, no, that's about it. I had a fried Oreos. That was pretty good. But I see like the fried Kool-Aid and fried everything, fried pickles. Fried pickles is all right. It's cool. But funnel cake for sure, and turkey leg. Can never go wrong with that.
You say fried Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I saw that one time. It was at the Houston Rodeo though. But if it was at the Houston Rodeo, it should be at the State Fair, possibly, right?
Fried Coke one year.
Fried Coke? Yeah, like
Fried beer.
fried beer?
Yeah. Ever tried fried butter?
They don't have fried.
Yeah, they had it. It's like that.
You had it?
Look at us. Of course we had fries.
What makes this game and this rivalry unique and special?
The stadium's split 50-50. It's a home and away game at the same time. The energy and all the history that has been on the field and in the stands in that whole area, it's a part of our culture as well. The State Fair, and it's a big game. It's a very big game, and it's my favorite game. I love this game every single year. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure the Golden Hat stays in Austin.
Can you give us an example of Tamandre Sweat's sense of humor?
Class clown, I would say. He's always full of energy, always cracking a joke, and always has a smile on his face too. You could always count on that. And Tamandre said He definitely upbrings everyone's energy and vibes, and he's a positive person.
Is he the funniest guy on the team?
No.
No. Who is the funniest guy on the team?
I think it's me. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't be out there like, you know what I mean, but doing too much. But I don't know.
What makes that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What makes that rollout screen where one goes one way and throws back to the other side so successful?
Oh, practice, drilling it a lot of times, and just understanding the tempo of it, and having trust in your technique and just playing free. So.
Christian, you guys are, you were 5-7, you lost to Kansas. You said it broke you, and here you are 2 years later, a win over OU, and you're even thicker into the CFP argument. What does that say about the maturation of this team?
I would say the growth and the belief in Coach Sark and the rest of the staff, and buying into the culture that he has preached over the years, and seeing that return, week in, week out, day in, day out, from the early morning workouts to Culture Wednesdays to doing team activities to the way that we practice, the way that we do everything. Seeing all that come together in this short amount of time has definitely been a very happy thing, because seeing it, you know what I mean, believing in it, and like seeing it grow is kind of like planting things, you know what I mean, like seeing it grow. So super exciting, and only the start.
Did you watch this game a lot growing up? Do you have a favorite memory?
How come?
So I was watching like Premier League.
What?
Yeah, at this age, like as a kid, yeah. I was
Who's your team?
Man City, watching Yaya Toure. Yeah. I'd say like first couple of college football games I do remember though. I remember seeing Tim Tebow for sure. I remember seeing Jameis Winston. I think it was Oklahoma State, where he like broke it off for like a huge run or whatever, jumped over his lineman. I remember those two plays vividly early on. Oh, and Braxton Miller, spin move for sure.
Do you
For those of you who don't know, he played soccer first.
Yeah. Sorry.
What position in soccer did you play?
Played everything, man. I was a baller. Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, but midfield, center back.
Did you decide you were like too tall for that, or?
I think the sport decided I was too tall for it. Yeah, for the better.
Do you say anything to Bert Auburn?
Yeah, all the time. The kickers, the specialists, those are my guys. Hang out with them, talk to them a lot.
How do you keep him going? He's missed 3 of his last 6.
Yeah, you don't really you don't bring it up. You don't concern. You don't not trying to say you don't have concern for it, but you understand that that's his job, and he knows his role, and he knows what he has to do. And everyone makes mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm out there, missing blocks sometimes. You know what I mean? Not good footwork and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely harder than what it looks. So have patience and have empathy for him, and understand that he's a part of the team, he's a part of the family. So like, you got to uplift him. You got to just make sure the spirits are high and make him believe that anything's possible, and it'll take care of itself.
And Jonathan Brooks, he's averaging, I think, 6 forced missed tackles per game. Are you seeing his confidence grow, and how are you seeing that confidence grow?
Just hitting the holes fast, trusting his speed, trusting his instinct, not dancing around too much, you know what I mean? And just being a ball player and letting the instincts take over. And definitely love seeing the growth. And we're trying our best as a unit, as a team, to make sure that the whole running back group have great holes and can do the same things. So a step in the right direction.
He's the number 3 rusher in the nation right now. Like, do you try to make him the leading rusher in the nation?
See, I didn't know that. But yeah, like us focusing on what we got to do, you know what I mean? We'll definitely open up the holes for him to have the success that he wants to have, and overall team success. So.
I do have a question, C. Jones. What you looking forward to most in this game?
Looking forward to most in this game. I'm looking forward to. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Obviously, like whatever end we start, but it's gonna be like third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, big time drive, and like being on their side and hearing the fan. That's what I'm ready for. I'm ready.
Ball emptied out like
Enemy territory?
Yeah, enemy territory, man. Just like feeling that, and just like I mean, that's what you live for.
That's what you do it for, huh?
Yeah, man, that's the vibes. That's the big game. It's a important time. You know, you want to be on the field for. You want to try your best to make a play. So.
Don't worry, I'll be with you right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe it.
Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it.
Do you feel more fresh this year than you did at this time last year, just being able to rotate other guys in more?
Do I feel more fresh?
Yeah.
I'll say I do feel more fresh, but it's mainly because our defense doesn't really have to play that many snaps every game. I think that's just credit to everybody. Like, you know, when everybody's out there, like we've been able to get guys out, get off the field, lots of 3-and-outs, and then that's kind of like, you know, last year we played. I think the first game we played in conference was Tech, and I played like 80-some snaps. So it was like, you know, games like where you don't have to play that many, you kind of down the road, it kind of saves your body a little bit.
And how much confidence do you guys as a defense have, the first-team guys for the second-team guys, and even some of the third-team guys that have been getting them?
I think, yeah, definitely, especially this year, the depth of each position is increased drastically. I think that's just guys being able to – most guys have been under the defense, or they're able to coach the guys who haven't been, you know, rather than last year everybody was still trying to figure it out for themselves. So I think just the ability for everybody, no matter, you know, where they're at in the depth, to go out there just shows, you know, not only how good our players are, but how good our coaches are in developing us and getting us ready to go out there and execute.
What is the most snaps you played in a single game?
Say again?
You probably played a lot in the Alabama game.
Yeah.
But what's the most snaps you played in any of the other games?
That might be a question for the coaches. I don't know that one.
But haven't you played in the 20s, though?
Oh, yeah. Myself specifically, right? I mean, last game I played, like, I think I want to say 30 some out of the 40 snaps we had. So
Yeah.
I have been the person that stays out there usually the most.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is. I guess my coaches trust me a lot, which is a good thing. So, but go ahead.
Coach Sarkisian talks about he runs this team like an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is the secret for your success for you?
I definitely think that's part of it. Just his ability to, you know, showing us the things that they do in the NFL really makes us a mature team. The way we go about our business, you know, from waking up in the morning for, you know, treatment or breakfast or whatever it is that we need to do before we go out there and practice. The way he organizes, you know, our practices and how well he treats us and let us get our bodies back, I think is definitely a key contributor to how we've been playing.
Jalen, I know it's early, but what have you seen Dylan Gabriel so far?
He's the head of the snake. We know he's what makes the teams go. You know, he's the quarterback, so his ability to make certain throws and give his receivers chances to go up and make, you know, plays on the ball. I definitely see that on tape. And then the O-line, you can tell the O-line is real tight. They got a lot of experienced guys. You know, they got two great running backs out there, so they're definitely a good ball team. And, you know, we've been studying film, making sure we're ready for the challenge.
Jalen, what did you learn about balancing the highs and highs in this game last year and then the lows to lows in the game 2 years ago?
You said balancing, right?
Yeah, just balancing those different emotions after loss.
Right. I think, you know, for me, I kind of brought the team in today actually just making sure, I think because this game in particular, it's a lot of emotions running higher than usual just because of, you know, it's a rivalry game. But I think, you never really want to look at the games before. You kind of want to focus on how the team has looked so far this year. And, you know, for us, looking at them, you know, they're 5-0 just like we are. So, you know, what they got going over there is a great program being run just like how ours is. So I think for both teams, you can tell it's going to be, you know, it's a top 25 matchup. So to go out there and say, we expect to do what we did last year wouldn't be smart in our case. So I think making sure everybody's ready to go and compete is good for us.
You talked about Dylan Gabriel. What are the challenges of facing a less mobile quarterback, more of a pocket guy? Does that change y'all's approach on defense at all?
As far as containing the quarterback, I think it's a less emphasis on, you know, trying to find somebody that, in case he does get out the pocket, who's gonna spy him or contain him secondarily. But I think since he's more in the pocket, that does allow us to play truer to our coverage, if that makes sense. You're not having to worry about pulling up a guy who's really mobile. But I think he hadn't been afraid to use his legs before, so if he needs to, he probably will. But for the most part, I think just letting our D-line work, let them handle that, and the guys who need to cover will cover. So.
You guys are earning more #1 national votes. The buzz is getting louder about you guys. How does that hit you?
You just gotta, do your best to ignore it. Honestly, you don't want to, get too big of a head. I think for us, just getting confidence from the way we play out there, not necessarily what people are saying, in the media, but just knowing, keeping everything within our team and just building off the games that we play, building off one another.
Have they seen a defense like y'all's?
That's a great question. I think we are solid around the board, so, just going to have to go out there and see,
What is it about Jonathan Brooks?
Let's say you're walking through the Texas State Fair, you're pretty hungry, where you stop and what food are you grabbing at the Texas State Fair?
I just got asked that earlier. So I said I like turkey legs, a funnel cake, a fried Oreo, and lemonade. That's probably what I look for. So,
all in one sitting?
I mean, not in one sitting. I'll say turkey leg and lemonade, and then get fried Oreo and a funnel cake, and maybe some water. That's a lot of fried food.
For the people who don't, focus in on what Devondre and Byron Murphy are doing, play in and play out, can you describe what they're doing and what they mean to this defense?
Oh, well, what they're doing is making it easier for me to go make plays, but just for them to be able to week in and week out, the offense, the opposing team has to scheme, okay, how are we going to get away from these guys? Because from the past 5 games, that's what it's been, just trying to stay away from Devondre, Murph, the rest of the guys on that D-line, just because they're so dominant. It's hard to single block those kind of guys. So I think making it harder for them to scheme, and then it makes it easier for guys like me, a linebacker, who doesn't have to worry about O-linemen always getting to you, and it just kind of lets you play free. So, what they do doesn't go unseen, especially on the defensive side. And I think, they're definitely getting their roses, and, it's starting to just show out there on the field.
And Sweat is the funny guy?
Sweat is definitely the funny guy. Murph is just a cool, if he's closer to you, he's a little funny. He has some jokes. But Sweat is definitely the jokester of the team.
And Murphy's the business.
Yeah.
James, what makes this rivalry in this game so special?
Just the past tradition of the past games. There's so many historical performances, so many, great players that have played in this game, that so many great teams that have played each other in the past. So I think that's kind of just what makes the game, such a, big game itself. And I think the tradition, Texas and OU, 2 big schools, 2 great football programs, and just another year to be a part of it.
How's it feel to have more interceptions than Jade there?
Man, Jade gives me crap about it every day. So he's been talking in my ear because he got the fumble recovery. If you look at it, I gave him because I'm I was right there and he falls on it and I was trying to pick it up. But, we definitely got a little turnover battle going between me and him. So it's pretty cool though, just, to drive our competitive edges.
So he cost you a scoop as well?
He did. My touchdown that I've never gotten, even though I have 8 turnovers or whatever I have. So
During this
you
week,
grew up in the area. What's your kind of most memorable moment of watching Texas A&M? TV or in person?
Most memorable moment.
You watched it as a kid?
I did, but it's been so many times I couldn't tell you, which one was my favorite. It's a lot of them. Obviously my favorite would be playing in it and winning the hat, because it hadn't been here in so long. So I'd say that's probably my favorite moment, is just bringing the hat back to Austin.
during this week and before the game, do you ever close your eyes and just envision yourself getting an interception or scooping it and scoring a touchdown?
Absolutely. I do. I definitely, before every game, I try to find some time throughout the day or the day before to kind of visualize my performance and everything that I'm capable of doing on the field. That way, you know, when I see those plays happening or when they start to, you know, come to light, I'm able to make the play, and it doesn't really seem, you know, foreign or unfamiliar to me.
Has there been a time when Sweat cracked a joke, like in a team meeting, or that everyone kind of remembers?
Has he cracked a joke? I think he's cracked so many jokes. It's hard to tell one specific one. I think with him, he says the right thing at the right time, and you know everyone just starts busting out laughing, or you know just because he's a funny guy, if he starts laughing, everybody else laughs with him.
Do you ever do it on the field to keep things light?
Never really. Nah, not on the field. On the sideline, he might though. But usually on the field, he's pretty much business. So I will say for Sweat, even though he's a funny guy, he has a switch where, you know, he knows when he can turn it on when
Let me
he's
ask
serious.
Coach Sarkisian.
Time for a couple
Just
of
ask you, are y'all the best team in the country?
That's definitely not for us to decide. So, you know, we just go out there and you know, do what we want to do, which is win week in, week out. You know, for us, we worked hard enough to go out there and I feel like be confident, and no matter who we play, to go out there and, you know, try to dominate. So
2 years ago, could you imagine me asking you the same question?
2 years ago,
At 5 and 7.
I can imagine me wanting you to ask me that question.
I was wondering, what do you think makes Jonathan Brooks so effective, especially right now?
Right now, what makes him effective? I think for him, the biggest thing that I see from like being, you know, on the sideline when they're out there is just the energy he brings. If the offense is struggling to get down the field, I think he's been the guy to like get it going. Him and the O-line, just when a team has trouble stopping the run and you just keep running it and then opens up the pass, I think that makes it hard for a defense to try to get you off the field. And so when he's out there running the ball like he's Ricky Williams or something, like that just brings the crowd starts cheering, and you know the sideline is energized. So you know for him, he's definitely been Sark likes to like be like the not the thermometer, but like, you know, yeah, like the one that's, you know, keeping the team cool, you know, being that energizer guy, and you know keeping us turned on the sideline.
Jade said he's faster than Sean.
I don't know about that one. I mean, we'll have to see when he goes to the combine and, you know, gets his 40 time.
If you had to compare and contrast like their styles, though, what would you say?
Which two guys?
Like Bijan and Jonathan.
If I had to compare them, I'd say Bijan is, you know, kind of your electric, like makes moves that you don't usually normally see. He's got sweet feet, like as some people would call it. But then I think JB is just a true running back. Like he's just gonna get the ball and go. If you notice, like he's a hard runner, but he also has speed too. And the way he runs is real smooth, so it's like you almost can't really tell until he starts pulling away from defenders. So, you know, I think for him, you know, finally getting his chance to shine has been huge for him.
Given what y'all did to Oklahoma last year, what do you expect from them right out of the gate, kind of wanting that?
Oh, I definitely think.
And how important is the physicality part of this, as you know, to hit them back when they
That's kind of what I addressed to the team today. It was just, you know, they're definitely gonna, you know, come back for vengeance. You know, anybody, I think would be, and it's already a rivalry game. So for them, you know, I definitely think they're gonna come out swinging hard. And for us, we just got to be calm and just stay true to what we're doing. The main thing that I told guys was just, you know, it doesn't really start when we get there Saturday. It really starts how we prepare now. That way, you know, whatever they want to throw at us, we're ready for it. And then as far as the physicality part, I think that's always huge, especially for defense. If you're a more physical team, you could take their will, and then ultimately that makes the game easier. So appreciate it.
David, what makes this rivalry in this game special for you?
Man, it's just when I first came to the University of Texas, I didn't really understand it till I got to experience it, and just the atmosphere, the fan bases, and just the players, and just the level of competition that comes with this week and just this weekend's game is just, there's nothing else like it.
Have they seen a defense like y'all?
They've been pretty well fortunate to have a good season, and they've been playing some really good ball, and I feel like they'll be ready and up for the challenge for our defense.
How important is the ability to rotate defensively to keep you fresh?
I feel like it is very important because if we keep fresh players, we're going to have the best. We're going to be at the best of our ability and able to compete at the best of our ability with each of our different skill sets that each player has.
Do you feel like you can go all out every snap and not have to worry about getting tired?
Yes, I do feel like I have the stamina to go the entire game.
David, Quinn's been running around more. You guys see him in practice. Are you surprised by that mobility, or have you been seeing that a lot?
Oh, not at all. From practice and even when we're doing our Longhorn shuttles, I've seen that speed and that quickness. Just competing with him, like I said, during Longhorn shuttles, I'm trying to be the first out of everyone, out of our group, and he was giving me a run for my money. I'm pretty fast, so just him giving me a run for money was a good sign to me in the summer.
Was that different? Last year?
Oh, yes, for sure. He's gotten a lot more faster and just more agile.
Where was he finishing in the shuttles last year?
Where is he finishing in the shuttles? He was. I'd say he's like a second or third guy, but he's finally creeped up to that first place spot.
We've talked about player leadership, maturity. What does that do for the group in a week with so much emotion?
The leadership, it allows us to help the younger guys to realize what we're stepping into and helping the team to be more, I'd say, ready for the environment and what the type of style we're going to have to play, because we're going to have to be very smart in order to compete with a good team like Oklahoma.
Coach Sarkisian says that he runs his team like an NFL team. What does that look like for you being a player?
It just means that every little thing we do, whether it's just a meeting or just extra things on the side and recovery, it's very important. And like he says in a lot of his, like when he talks to us, is to be intentional with your time. And for instance, he'll have us make sure we do our recovery on harder days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and he makes sure that we tap in with our mindfulness. He just tries to have a very tight-run ship and make sure that we're at the best and very intentional with each of our steps.
David, you're walking through the Texas State Fair. You're pretty hungry. What Texas State Fair food are you getting?
I'm going to give me a corn dog or a pretzel with a little bit of cinnamon on top. Yeah.
11 a.m. game, your first of the season. How do you get up for an 11 a.m. game? How do you, as players, look at it?
I mean, we get up all the time. Just this morning, I woke up at 6. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at 6. All throughout the week, I'm gonna wake up at 6. We have early morning practice, so it's just gonna be basically another practice for us, honestly.
You know what a Sooner is?
I think, let me not be wrong on this. I think it's a Pioneer, I want to say. Am I correct on that one?
I think so.
Okay.
You're the first one to get it.
Okay, bet.
Hey, David, Bob, got a question.
What impresses you about Bill Gabriel?
What impresses me the most about him is his leadership ability to come into Brent Venables' system and just sort of take sort of the leadership role. And what I've seen from him is a very poised passer, and he's able to run when he needs to. But he's just been very impressive with his passing ability and just his leadership ability to make things go on that offense.
And you mentioned talking to the freshmen about the atmosphere and everything. There's no way to really tell them, right? I mean, there's no. You got to see it.
Oh yeah, nah. I mean, all I can really tell them is to look. There's a lot of emotion in this game. You're gonna have to be very smart. All the chirping and all that, you're gonna have to keep it to a minimum. But like you said, they're gonna have to experience that on their own.
You guys are picking up more number one votes. People are starting to buzz about this team. It's been one of the best in the nation, if not the best. How's that hit you?
I'm glad we're being recognized, but honestly, the work isn't done yet. We still have our goals that we want to reach, and we haven't reached them yet. So until then, we haven't done anything yet.
So you get a call from an NFL scout asking you what kind of a player is Jahdae Barron. What do you say to him?
Jahdae Barron, he's a very charismatic, hard worker. That's what I'd say to him. He's a very hard worker. I'd say that much.
David, you waited a long time to be David, you waited a long time to be a starter. Is there any aspect of your game that's even surprised you or caught you off guard that you didn't realize you had that now you're seeing it on the field?
No, not really, because as I was going through just really being on the back end of things, I really had to analyze my game from a standpoint of, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, I have to look at my bad plays and see, okay, this is what coach is seeing on a daily basis, and this is what is probably negating me from getting more plays, as many plays as I want. So I had to basically look at my game all around, whether it be from my pass drops and my block destruction. I feel like I've improved a lot on those two aspects, but there's still many holes in my game. I still have a lot of room to get better.
Barron, can you take us through that play when you were covering Neal down the sideline and Have you tried to get in that defensive back room at all?
Yeah, that's something we've been working on, especially in our edge room, just being able to, for PK to be able to throw different things at the offense, just being able to cover backs and match us up with backs. So yeah, we've been definitely been on us about that technique about covering backs, and I'm just happy it was able to show Saturday.
Do you feel comfortable in coverage?
Yeah, I do, especially in those type of situations because we rep it so much. I get good work practicing against guys that like Keelan and Jonathan in practice, so it helps me to translate that to the game.
Do you know what speed you hit on that play?
No, I do not. I got to get that.
About to hit 19 plus?
Yeah, definitely up there. I got to get that speed, though.
It's always important to get pressure on the quarterback. More so when you have a guy like Gabriel who doesn't move around as much as other quarterbacks you play.
Yeah, definitely. It's always obviously being the defensive lineman is always the goal to pressure the quarterback, but especially when guys are not as mobile and definitely being in the pocket trying to get those passes down the field, it was definitely a point of emphasis for us to get to him and force him into errant throws.
Baron, I know it's early, but what have you seen from Dylan Gabriel so far on film?
On film, I see a guy that gets their offense going and gets their team going, a guy that brings a lot of intensity to that team, and he's definitely their playmaker.
What's the game plan against a guy like him?
Like I said previously, just honestly to force him into errant throws, just pressure him throughout the game, especially as a defensive front. All of us just trying to get to him and make him not as comfortable making the throws that he's used to making.
What's the importance of establishing the physicality early in a game like this?
A game like this, we obviously know the intensity is going to be there, so we definitely have to get the physicality up there, just as a whole defense, and that's definitely going to help us out playing in a game like this.
Have they seen a defensive line like yours?
That's a complicated question, but they haven't seen us, so I'm gonna say that they definitely have not seen us.
How big for finishing the game was getting that fourth down stop and then those 2 3-and-outs right afterwards?
It was definitely very big. I feel like that was a big momentum shift in the game, and I mean that's what our defense kind of pride ourselves on, is making those type of plays and showing up in those type of moments.
Do you think the offense fed off of that a little bit?
Yes, definitely. Complementary football.
What does the maturity of your group do in a week like this with all the emotion surrounding the game Saturday?
Just being focused on what we do and not letting anything outside of us or what the other team do to try to get us emotional and play with emotion. But we obviously want to play with emotion, but we don't want to be emotional.
Talking about mobile quarterbacks, did Quinn surprise you a little bit when he took off running on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. Quinn been showing the wheels. I've been happy to see that. It definitely helped us out, especially seeing him getting them third down conversions. So
You ever see that in practice?
Yeah, definitely. It's been something we've been seeing in practice, but it's different. We can't touch them. But seeing it on game day is definitely something good to see.
So going back to maybe back in the preseason, whenever the offense runs that spin around screen where they look one way and then throw it back the other, what do you think as a defender who they're trying to fool in that play?
As a defender, we, especially in the defensive line, is just all about redirection, just snapping your eyes around and getting to the ball as fast as we can.
You didn't have to face Dylan last time. How different beyond him is this team that you're facing this time around?
It's definitely a team. I mean, they're going into the game 5-0. They definitely have something going over there, and they definitely have their energy picked up. And obviously, just going off of what our game last year, they definitely have a chip on their shoulder, and we do too. So I'm excited for this game.
You're walking through the state fair. You're hungry. What state fair food are you?
Last year the last 2 years actually I've been going with the funnel cake. Funnel cake is very good. Yeah. Nice little treat. Now I think I'm gonna stick to that funnel cake I haven't had in a minute, so I'm gonna get back to that.
What makes this game and this rivalry special?
Obviously just the history of both schools and the history of this game, and just being in that Cotton Bowl Stadium is just an amazing feeling.
You know what a Sooner is?
No, not off the top of my head. I know it has something to do with Oklahoma, but I don't know.
What's been the secret to the team's just hardcore, hard physical play, stopping the opponent from scoring, from getting, making end zone runs? What's been the secret to that?
Just basically, I'll say just really emphasizing as a defense, especially just throughout the week, even in practice on those hard days where you don't really feel like going out there, but just focusing on being physical in practice and just bringing it to the game and then bringing it to a whole nother level in the game. That's been our focus as a defense this year.
Specifically in the red zone, you guys have been filthy in the red zone. Do you all say anything to each other when it gets down there?
Yeah, definitely. It like I just said, we kind of emphasize it even more at that point. It's easy to just kind of be backed up and just kind of let our guard down, but our thing has just been to not let them get anything and just force them to have to make a big play.
As someone who faces Jonathan Brooks in practice, like what makes him so effective and so difficult to tackle?
He's a very shifty guy and he's good at moving, just kind of falling forward and like always moving forward. I feel like that's the biggest thing about Jonathan. He's just very good at always getting downhill and getting those extra yards that obviously helps out on Saturdays.
How would you describe their offensive identity? Has it been a lot more pass first?
Yeah, they definitely want to pass, but I just said they're a pretty big tempo team, and they just kind of go off of the momentum that they get throughout their plays.
So they like to go up tempo a lot?
Yes, sir.
How's the team doing with the John Wick mentality, do you think?
It's been very good. I feel like it's something we kind of embraced as a leadership council and brought it to the team, and it's just been a great mentality that we kind of brought to the team, and we kind of just embracing it that, every week and every game is just a new mission.
In the trenches, will there be a lot of trash talking between you and Oklahoma?
Our D-line, we just like to play. That's been our thing and our identity this year, so we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing.
What do you tell the younger guys to kind of prevent them from getting caught up in the emotion of this game?
Just really focusing on us and just focusing what we've been doing. So we haven't been doing those type of things, getting out of character and getting penalties and things like that. So let's just keep doing what we've been doing, keep playing hard, and focus on that.
Like John say about this game and this atmosphere?
He's been to a game in the stands. He says like he knows what kind of game it is, but I told him like when you're actually in the game, it's different. It's a different feeling. It's an exciting feeling. You go from hearing the boos to the aisles, so it's like kind of like a crazy experience when you first go in.
Y'all were part of a rare blowout win. How different do you think this OU team's going to be this time around?
I feel like they're going to come back with a chip on their shoulder as they should, and I feel like I said, it's like everybody has a dot on us, and I feel like we just need to go in with the same mindset that we go in with every week.
Hey, Quinn, he's been running a little bit more. What's kind of gotten into him? Like, did anybody say anything to him last couple of weeks? Like, they use your feet if they're there?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that's just Quinn. Like, he just, I don't know, I didn't know that was in his bag, though.
Faster than you think he was?
Yeah, I give him, like, if it was the Madden rating, I'd give him, like, 81 speed.
Okay.
Xavier, what makes that screen play where Quinn spins around and throws to the back on the other side so effective?
I kind of don't know what's going on in that play, but, like, it's kind of like a cool play. It's like a throwback, kind of like a throwback play. It's cool. You kind of think he's rolling out to throw like on the other side, and he tosses it back to the back. It's a cool play.
How do you balance the eyes to eyes last year's win over OU and the lowest to lows 2 years ago going into this third matchup in this game?
Right. Never underestimate an opponent. First year we were kind of up, and we kind of got complacent. And last year, I feel like we didn't get too complacent, so we just want to carry over what we've been doing over the whole season in that game.
As a receiver, do you see different looks when JT's out versus when Gunnar Helm and Ogwin, or the looks kind of the same from the defense?
I feel like they're kind of like the same.
You go against these Texas DBs every day in practice. What makes them good? What's OU's receivers going to have to deal with going against Texas?
Right. I feel like iron sharpens iron. I feel like we just go into practice every week. I feel like we have one of the best receiving corps in the nation, and I feel like we have one of the best DB corps in the nation. So I feel like we just come in every day at practice ready to work and just get each other better to prepare each other for the week.
Best DBs OU seen this year, you think?
I think so.
How's the team doing with the John Wick mentality, would you say?
Sark just showed us something different. He showed us kind of like a Kobe with like the John Wick picture. It's kind of like you have to see the picture to understand. It shows like everybody's guns pointing at us, like they want to knock us off. So we just need to focus on what we need to focus on.
Is there anyone in the Oklahoma defense specifically that you've seen that's really stood out to you and look forward to playing against?
The whole defense is pretty good. I feel like we kind of got like a base on them today. I haven't seen everything yet. I'm gonna watch the film and look at it, but I feel like they have a pretty good overall defense.
To you, what makes this game and this rivalry special?
Just the atmosphere, just like the big like kind of like raw to it. I feel like it has like a good build up and like a history behind it.
Do you understand it better? The history, you were new to the
history
rivalry.
behind it. Nah, I kind of really don't understand it still, like to this day.
Why not?
But I kind of see like the history behind it. I seen like the old games, like with Huff and all them. So I kind of like see like it's kind of like a huge rivalry. But yeah, it's a big rivalry.
Was it jarring when you ran out that first time and you saw everything? Like, what was your?
When I ran out the first time, it was kind of like weird to me because when I first ran out, I heard boos, and then I got to the other side of the field and heard ahs. Like it's not like a regular game. It's not like a home game, but it's like a home game at the same time.
What do you remember about that first play, your freshman year?
I just remember I caught the ball, like just everything just went blank. I was just playing.
David, what are you and Quint doing to keep up the connection between him throwing and you catching during this week?
Right, I feel like it's just a communication. Just keep communicating. He's telling me where he wants me to be, and I'm just gonna be where he wants me to be and make the plays.
You have the sense that he gets up for these games, like these high-profile games. He played great against Alabama. The bigger the stage, the better he plays. How would you?
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Quinn gets up every game. If y'all could hear him on the sideline, he'd be like, all right, I understand what you're saying. Like Quinn's amped every game.
I have a fun question.
You got 2 more?
Sorry, a fun question for you. Like, are you choosing like a specific suit going into this game? I mean, you've got quite the style here.
I don't know. I don't know this week. I don't know. I don't know. It might be a surprise for y'all.
Anything else?
You're at the
You know what a
Texas State
suit
Fair.
is?
What food are you getting? What food are you getting to eat?
It's between a corn dog and a turkey leg.
You have to pick one though.
I have to pick one?
No, you don't.
Nah, I'm going both. I could go both. I ain't big. Shoot. I could go both.
A year ago, you're trying to lead the team in interceptions. How's that going?
Right now, I'm behind by Jaron Thompson and Jalen Ford. But, we have a lot of ball to play left. And Huff told me this game is legendary. It'll be remembered forever. So we always compete and stuff like that. And me and Jalen Ford, he was helping me with a few drills today, rolling the ball out so I could scoop and score better, and just little things like that. But, no, it'll be good. It'll be good for me to go out there and get an interception.
What happened on that long touchdown last week against Kansas? What happened?
Just miscommunication that we fixed. We fixed today.
Did he expect help or what on the play, or was it just a straight post?
No, just miscommunication, and we didn't get lined up fast enough. They did a hurry up tempo play. Okay. Yeah, and they beat us on it.
How bad were you about that scoop and score? The opportunity that you had on that 4th and 1.
I was pretty mad. I was pretty mad, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, God bless me with a turnover, so I'm not that mad. I ain't that mad.
So Huff told you what? That you can become a legend by making plays in this game, or?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
Well, he told me that last year. He told me this is the game that you'll be legendary forever. Like he said, he told me they still play my plays from decades ago. So this is the game that could put me out there forever. So just making plays, and they'll play this literally every single year. So I'm just going out there and excited and happy.
As someone who faces a guy like Jonathan Brooks in practice, like, what do you see from him? What is making him so effective at running back?
His confidence and his maturity level. He was behind Roshan and Bijan, so he's learned so much. And then Coach Choice being his upper strength, it's been amazing for him, and he's just taking full throttle with it.
What are like the differences and similarities between him and a guy like Bijan?
JB got a little bit more speed. I like his speed. I like JB's speed.
He says he's slow. Yeah, he's.
I think he's fast.
You're saying he's faster than Bijan?
Well, after Bijan run that 40, I don't know, but like during the season on field, I say I got Jonathan Brooks.
Speaking of Brooks, how did his teammates lift him up after his death?
I know a lot of teammates. They went to the funeral to be with him, to be there for him. And I know T. Sweat and Jay Witt, they're close to him, so I know they're in his corner through his whole process like that. But he's a strong kid, and he's trusting the Lord with this, and he's been going at it.